Hello. Hello. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to be so annoying. But what I want to do is show you how to graph y equals negative 1/4 x squared minus 5. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to be graphing this when it's in vertex form, which is in this form. And we're going to use our parent graph to help us graph it. Now, you can see this looks a little bit different than in vertex form. But in reality, what we have is we just don't have an h. We have an x squared, but our h is going to be 0. So we can say that a equals negative 1/4. H equals 0, because I'm not subtracting anything in my x squared. And then my k is going to be minus 5. Now, when we're looking at using the vertex form, we understand that a is going to be our dilation and also our reflection, and k is going to be our shift vertically. So since we have a negative 5, we know that my parent graph is going to be shifted 5 units down. And then the 1/4, since 1/4, the absolute value of 1/4, is less than 1, we know that my graph is now going to be stretched horizontally. And the negative tells us our graph is going to be reflected over the x-axis. So let's go ahead and start graphing these, and then I'll kind of show you a way to kind of test in some points. So we know the graph is going to be reflected, right? So we can say, all right, my end behavior, sometimes we'll talk about a little bit later, is going to be shifted downwards. And we also know the graph is going to be 5 units down. So my vertex started at 0, 0, but now it's going to be shifted 5 units down. It's not shifted left or right because h is 0. So I'll just go down 5 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now that's going to be my new vertex. So I can even say, without even graphing it, that my vertex is at 0, negative 5. And since my graph has not been shifted left or right, my axis of symmetry is still going to remain x equals 0. All right. We can also say, since that's going to be my vertex and now my graph's going to open down, that the y-intercept is going to be at 0, negative 5. And then my x-intercept, as you can see, my graph, if here's my vertex and the graph is going to go down, it's never going to cross my x-axis. So my x-intercepts are going to be non-existent, or we'll just say none. Now, if I want to graph this, what we need to do is we need to kind of pick some points, right? We know that the parent graph, when I plug in some points, I'm going to go over 1, up 1, over 2, up 4. But now I'm multiplying that by 1/4. And the negative is obviously going to make a negative. That's why my graph is going down. So let's kind of not worry about the negative number, but just think about the 1/4. So what we could do is, now let's just kind of pick some points, and let's kind of do a table of values in our head. Sounds fun, right? So if I go over 1, I go up 1 for the parent graph. But now if I go over 1, if I take 1 and I square it, now I'm going to multiply by 1/4. That means I'm going to go down 1/4. So going over 1, I'm now going to go over 1. I'm now going to go down 1/4. When I go to the left 1, I'm now going to go down 1/4. And then let's do 2. If I do 2 into the parent graph, I go 2. 2 squared is 4. But now I'm going to multiply that number by 1/4. So 4 times 1/4 is just going to be 1. So now when I go over 2 units, I'm actually going to go down 1. Go left 2 units, I'm actually now going to go down 1. So you can see the pattern now that my graph takes. All right, so it's just kind of important. It's all going to kind of depend if you need to have a table of values or you just need to graph the transformations. But it's important to understand that, yes, you are transforming it. But this negative 1/4 not only just reflects your graph, but it also is going to stretch it horizontally. So you need to make sure you pick some points that you can represent this, because it's not going to have the same relationship as this parent graph. My graph is not going to be stretched. So we can represent that, but it's kind of picking some points and multiplying it by 1/4 to be able to see the relationship of the next 2 points. Thanks.